I walked into the ECC and I said, this is the one.
The moment I met one of the teachers, I just felt like they knew what they were doing.
I knew 100% that I was sending my child to the ECC.
ECC has been really good at helping to alleviate a lot of those fears as a first-time parent.
I really get to teach in a way that feels right for children and right for me.
The first thing that struck me when I first came in is the profound respect that teachers have for the children that come to school here.
What I really believe in, and I think children really respond to, is the relationships, the relationships with their teachers and the connection.
That's such a big part of this program for the teachers, is getting to know the child, who they are, what makes them tick, how they think, how they interact with the world, how they interact with themselves.
Every teacher here, whether you've had them for your child or not, is kind and welcoming and eager to help in any way they can. You feel it the second you walk in here. You feel the respect that they have for children, the respect that they have for themselves as professionals and educators.
This is not a place where childhood is rushed. This is a place where children are valued for who they are at the particular developmental stage that they're at. I want a 2-year-old to be a 2-year-old here. I want a 4-year-old to be a 4-year-old, and all of what that encompasses. And this is a place where we want children to become makers of their own meaning.
When they come into the room and they play, they're making sense of their world through their play.
The children are always makers of their own meaning in my classroom. If they want to keep calling the color blue when it's red, it's okay. They're going to get to know what blue looks like. It's more important is that they're talking about all the wonderful things they're doing with that color more than being correct about the color.
Everyone makes sense out of experiences in a different way. We learn by constructing knowledge based upon what we've already experienced.
I love to set the room up with little things here and there for them to find, and maybe, something I heard from somebody talking about the day before, and I know I have that somewhere, and I put it out and let them find it and listen to their conversations about what they just found and what it means to them.
What I like about ECC the most, I guess, is the teaching style. They're not gonna sit your kid down and necessarily teach them math, 1 + 1 is 2. They're gonna teach them cooking and measurements. And if we did 2 cups already and we need 3, how many more? It's kind of a creative approach.
Every child comes in with their own entry point, with their own way of thinking about the world based on what they know from, home and the outside world. And they come in with their own set of ideas. And we want them to use those ideas in the making in the classroom, how they come to use art materials, how they come to use dramatic play materials, how they work with other children in the classroom, how they learn to negotiate. Those are all things that children come together and in a community work on and parse out as a group.
We're really focused on each child and where they are and what they need.
The biggest thing that I value about the ECC is the way that they recognize each child for themselves, their individual, unique self, and they don't try to alter that. They work from where the child is. They're interested in what's going on in the home life and what might be affecting them. They want to understand when they're frustrated or they're upset or they're happy. They want to know what's behind that.
A big part of the learning that goes on here is social learning and how to communicate and how to express your feelings and how to make friends and how to be able to say, I don't like that, and stand up for yourself in a way that just unfolds, and you have teachers that support the children in that.
The class structure, a lot of it's sensory related, which means a lot of putting their hands into different materials, things that they can just explore.
We're very process oriented. We're not looking at the product, whatever that product, I don't even know what that may be.
The world is theirs here, and they come first here. I see it in my kids. And my older son, who's now in 1st grade, his transition to his next school was made much easier because he had a sense of himself.
We are able to give children a lot of time to get involved in what they're doing. And it's sort of uninterrupted time to play.
They make meaning from bringing what they see around them in the world and at home, and they reproduce it in their block buildings, in their definitely in their dramatic play, in their visual art, in the conversations they have together.
I want each child to feel that they really enjoy being at school and that school is their place. This is their classroom, and that their voice is heard and that their voice matters and what they have to say matters. But alongside of that is learning that there's other people in the classroom and what they say matters too. So there's a lot of conflict resolution. And to me, that's the real meat of the work.
Teachers are so intuitive and they're so experienced and I learned so much about my child.
And they leave here so confident. And why are they confident? Because we allow that independence. We encourage them to be independent.
We're giving the children a love of learning, a sense of self, a voice, giving them permission to have a voice, and that what they're feeling and what they're thinking about is valid and needs to be respected. So that when they leave here, they go out into wherever they're going next and they're excited about it.
The ECC operates as a lab school for Sarah Lawrence College. We have students here who come from our graduate programs, from the Child Development Program, from the Art of Teaching Program, from the Dance Movement Therapy Program, who do their field placement and their practical experience here, as well as undergraduates from the college, primarily psychology classes, but often from music, dance, film, who come here to work in the life of the classroom and to really see children in their daily lives at work and to really see theory put into practice.
A lot of it is about working with kids' strengths. So more than anything is figuring out like what are their interests and what are their strengths, and then working with them to expand on that and to blossom and to have room to express themselves and develop.
Each one comes in as an individual with wonderful traits and things to offer the classroom, so it makes the room really well-rounded.
I always tell students when they come to interview with me, we couldn't do the type of program that we do without them. You can tell people that you'd like to give children time and space to work with materials, but you can't do that unless you have the hands and the bodies and the laps and the hearts and the minds in the classroom. So the college students are integral to the work that we do here. We don't exist without them.
They're in here learning, and their enthusiasm and their energy and what they're learning is reflected in the kids' experience every day.
Getting to be at the ECC, I get to really see what like democratic education is in action in a way that just it wouldn't make sense if it was just talked about in a classroom.
The goal here for me and for everybody else is to listen to the kids and see what they're interested in, and then provide the materials and the conversations for them to expand their thinking and language and art activities.
My wish for each child when they leave my classroom is that I want them to feel good about who they are, where they are at that time in their life. So when they move forward, they know, I can do this. This is who I am, and I'm really good at that.
One of the things I appreciate so much is how much I've learned from Lorayne, the director, from the teachers, and how supportive they are.
What happens here, there's such a strong sense of community that as a staff we take care of one another, as a staff we take care of the children, as a staff we take care of the parents. It becomes part of who we are.
I've learned being here is that there were so many things that I didn't even know that I wanted in a school that I've found here that are now so important to me.
This is a place where you walk in and you feel children. You feel the sense of children. You feel a sense of home and connection and community. And it's a simple feeling, I think, when you walk in, and I think people know it right away. They'll come in and they go, ah, or they say, this isn't for me, and that's okay. But I think the majority of people who walk in say, this is a place for me. And I think there's just an energy that you feel when you come in, and I think that's what, when people talk about the specialness of this place, that they're keen into. It's palpable when you walk in the doors of either the Cobra or the Boulder building.
I went to the ECC in 1982.
After almost 40 years of not being here, nothing had changed in the block room. They were exactly where they were, and I remember spending hours and hours playing in the block room.
I started in the 2s programs. I did the 2, 3, 4s here. I have vivid memories of being here. I would suggest the ECC to any parent who is interested in giving their child a wonderful foundation.
Visiting is key, because if a parent meets Lorayne and meets the teachers here, I don't see how you send your kid anywhere else.
It has been exactly what I wanted for my children.
The teachers, the other parents, it was all an extension of my own family, and that made me feel really, really safe leaving my kid there.
I trust them so much, and it's such a good feeling.
So I would say this is an exceptional place.
Dynamic.
Accepting.
Spectacular.
Magical.
Haven.
Nurturing.
Amazing.
Joyful.
Family.
Community.
For me personally, I would say home.